Hello everyone and welcome. This is Christine with Pattercrafts and today I'm here with a design team project for Scrapping for Less. Today I am using this stamp set here from Sunny Studio. It's called Chickie Baby and I'm going to be making a friendship card with this stamp set. Even though it kind of at first glance looks like it's Easter themed, you have all these great little chick images here. You have some flowers, you have some grass. You don't necessarily have to use it for Easter. Plus you have the sentiments from one chick to another. You're one cool chick, hey chick. So we are definitely going to just use this stamp set for a friendship card, and I'm going to be using the Arteza Real Brush pens to color the images in. I was like a little bit on a time crunch making this card, and when that happens, I find I can color a lot quicker using the Real Brush pens, but I will prove myself wrong today, and you'll find out why as we go along. I'm also using this pattern paper pad from Sunny Studio. This is the Spring Fling. It's absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Look at this sheet. You could make an entire card out of that sheet. I'm finding the other one here because these are just awesome. You could totally make a great card out of those, but it would probably have to be bigger. I tend to stick to A2, but those would probably need to be bigger. Or you could just decorate them and put them in a frame and use them for some spring decor. Anyway, so we're going to choose two little chickies for our card today, but I was having a hard time picking out which pattern paper I wanted to use, so I decided to bring in a card sketch, a card sketch. My first initial thought was I was going to create an entire scene, but I couldn't pick out the pattern paper, so I dug into my card sketches, and I'm going to be using this one here. This would be what I would call sketch 1, and this is from the downloads tab on the Scrapping for Less website, so you can check that out if you are looking for some card sketches. So I've trimmed down a few different pieces of pattern paper here, also bringing in some enamel dots. I tend to sometimes hoard things, and so I really need to work at using them, and the enamel dots is one of those things. But I don't know if I want to use those matte pink ones or the glossy white ones, so I pulled them both out. So this circle piece here is just some watercolor paper, and I'm putting my sentiment on the circle piece. So I'm bringing in some scrap ribbon to kind of put where on the sketch it says sentiment. I'm just gonna use some of that blue ribbon. It matches the pattern paper beautifully. So because I'm using the Real Brush pens, I need a water-friendly ink. So I'm grabbing the Gina K Black Amalgam ink. This is Copic friendly, so you can use it for alcohol markers, but it's also waterproof, so you can use it for any kind of watercoloring or water-based type markers and not get any smudging. Chose two little chickies, and now I'm kind of adding some grass, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment up at the top, and I'm going to bring in some flowers. Now, because the sentiment is really kind of like 3 stamps, and I don't know how well I'm going to line them up in that small little area, so I decided to kind of put my sentiment in at an angle. So from one chick to another. Then I grabbed this flower stamp that had the leaves, and I just didn't think with the grass it was going to be the best one to use, so I grabbed the other one that didn't have the leaves. So now we are going to do some coloring with the Arteza, however you pronounce it, Real Brush pens. Now I'm going to show you two different ways that you could use these pens and why I choose the first technique over the second. So I tend to put the ink on a block and then bring in a water brush, pick up the color and color just like you see here. The other is to put the color directly onto the paper. But for me, I find I have a really hard time blending those colors out. Unless I'm using another color Like I'm just using the real brush. I'm not using some water to pull that color down. It ends up kind of being a little streaky. And as you see on the second chick, that's kind of what it does for me, and I don't like that. So if you have a hard time with this, you might want to try adding your color to a block. So I did my first layer on that first chick on the block. Then I brought my marker directly to the chick a second time. You have to let that dry though a little bit, and then you should be able to pull a little color, and again you should be able to blend it really well. At least for me, this is how I have found this works best. Now I added some of the dark green directly where I want it to be darker. I'm not really intending on blending that in. I'm bringing in another green marker. That second chick was a little wet, so when I touched the paper, that green kind of bled up and into my chick. So I kind of grabbed my super dry stamped chamois there and tried to salvage that little chickie so that the green didn't, you know, go too far up, because I'm just going to add some more of this yellow. I'm also trying to fix that top half of his head. I don't know, maybe that's maybe some people would like that look. It's just not what I was going for. And in person, it looks a little streaky, if that makes sense. Like you can see the brush strokes. So I just kind of wanted to do it both ways to just kind of, if anyone else had an issue with this, like this is how I find I like to use these pens. And I brought in some light blue there just to kind of go over the sky. Bringing in a little bit of purple for the inside of those flowers, and then I'm going to just kind of put all that aside, let that piece dry, and start assembling my panel. So when I adhere ribbon, I usually just run my ATG right across where the ribbon's going to go, unless the ribbon's really thin. It just helps the ribbon stay exactly where I want it. It doesn't move, and that works best for me. So now I'm going to score my card panel and put down this piece here. I would have added the chick piece at that moment, but it needed another extra couple seconds to completely dry. Adding some ATG to that, and then we're going to start playing with my enamel dots. So this is the project for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so very much. Have a great day. Bye.